like we talked a little bit about the art, like the art of making an old fashioned. There is a little bit of theater to it. Can be simple theater, one man theater, one person theater.
Sounds so dirty.
Something.
A man and his puppet.
We're going to talk about mimes in a minute because we're going to talk mimes. I'm
Seriously? You're always out.
God, Kurt.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where guys get together to talk about bourbon, about life, lore, and libation, and everything that comes with being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs, just a group of guys who like bourbon for what it is and how it tastes. It's pretty simple. This is actually podcast number 26. I think it's our third run at 26.
Nice.
My math has been wrong.
Eventually, we'll get it right.
Yeah. Yes, this might be our last 26th episode. I'm Derek, your host, and I'm here with my Bourbon Boys. We got Alton.
Hello.
Kurtron.
Hey there.
And Kratt.
Hey, guys.
And tonight we're changing the format up a little bit. You know, we're coming out of summer into fall, getting into some warmer weather, at least in a couple months for us. Mm-hmm. Some warmer weather drinks. And one of the ones that we've been asked a lot about is an old fashioned. And so tonight we all have created our own old fashioned recipe. And we're going to learn a little bit about it.
Oh, dear God.
I know. It's going to be
dissertation.
Good. It's going to be good.
Hey.
Now, the rules are...
Somebody did their homework.
Rules are Kurt is going to give us a brief history on the old fashioned.
Hold on. There are rules?
No. No, I'm not going to read through this whole thing. I think what we should do is talk about it throughout.
Okay.
So here I'll ask one question. So
Yes.
when did the word cocktail actually come to be? How long ago?
I'm out.
What's my range? I'm going to say 1820s.
Okay. David?
I'm going to go with 1932.
That was my next guess.
In the early 1900s, 1910s.
1806.
1806.
You are the winner.
Alton.
Yes.
Closest without going over.
1806, it was first described as a stimulating liquor composed of spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters.
All right.
And it was described in the Balance and Columbian Repository in 1806. I gotta go there because it'll give. Otherwise, you guys have nothing to rip on me for.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Back when the news was good.
however, the old-fashioned cocktail was first mentioned in 1862 in Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide.
Lots of discrepancy on when the old fashioned was
Oh, so you knew?
its thing. What, is that in your notes too?
Yeah.
The discrepancy?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No, I was talking about cocktail and then the old-fashioned.
Oh, no. I was talking about the old fashioned.
I don't care what you guys are talking about. The ice is melting.
Okay. So, so our rules tonight are we're all using the same base, old tub.
Old tub.
We're going to talk about how to order an old fashioned at a restaurant, at a bar. Mm-hmm. How to make your own. We've all brought our own recipe, our own take on it.
Yep.
And then, we'll taste them, see how it goes.
Sounds
So
good.
first
All right.
one up.
Yeah,
David.
Kratt went
Tell us
first.
about it.
Very simple, super straightforward.
Yep.
It's good for you.
Absolutely. I like things very, just easy peasy. 1 sugar cube, and I'll tell you about the sugar in a minute. 2 ounces of bourbon. 2 drops of Hella Bitter. 3 drops, and then 2 drops of their citrus.
Oh, so you mixing bitters?
That's what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yeah. The sugar cube is a Demerara cube. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
I think you were close to
There's
it.
way too many R's. and
There's a
A's
lot
in
of
it.
R's.
Yeah.
What makes it
Extra
Demerara?
ease.
What is that?
It's like
Demerara.
it's not a brown sugar. It's almost like a light brown sugar, but it doesn't have the caramel kind of taste to it.
What kind of taste does it have?
Not what you normally get out of a sugar cube, Kurt.
Doesn't answer my question.
Is this an interrogation or are we
Yeah.
drinking? Good Lord. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, again,
It's good.
super simple. It takes like nothing to make it.
When you mentioned the citrus, that was kind of my first, I was like, okay, something tastes really light and kind of crisp about it for me anyway. So
I get like a warm spice to it. I'm in the cola family,
Yeah.
like that.
Same. I'm in the warm spice. That was kind of like
yeah.
Some of that could be coming
Baking
from the
spice.
sugar.
That could be the sugar.
might be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but again, frankly, I haven't had one at a bar that tastes any better than this. And this is like super, super simple. So,
So you're saying yours is going to be the best tonight?
no, not at all.
Come out strong.
It's just, it's literally.
I feel inadequate.
all you have to remember is one
I'm
sugar
out.
cube, 3 drops.
Like Derek says, I'm out.
And it's it.
I like
Super
it.
simple.
How many ounces of bourbon?
Well, that just depends.
Okay.
Typically 2 ounces.
So you could do a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
1 sugar cube, 2 ounces of bourbon, 3 shakes of.
Yeah, but you want to put the sugar cube in first,
Yep.
then your bitters, then the citrus, and then you mull it.
Mullet.
Gotcha.
Before
Okay.
you let it sit for 30 seconds first,
Yep.
so the cube soaks in all the bitter.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you mull it, and then you drop in your 2 ounces,
Yep.
and then a little bit of a
Well, your
twist.
simplicity angle just went out the window. I got a 30-second delay here. I got
Well,
to muddle something over here.
Just wait till these other jokers start in on what theirs are made
Yeah,
out
we're going to
of.
need 30 minutes for mine. So,
So,
All right.
so, but I think you're hitting on something really important, and they talk a lot about this. But I think it is technically it's actually a very simple cocktail to make.
Yep.
You can, but the variety of it is very different. Can be very complex because depending on how you not ration, but how you
Ratio.
Allocate.
you allocate. Thank you. You allocate the different ingredients, right? That's what makes it different.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
'Cause-
Now, you've got a garnish in yours.
yeah, I
I
typically
didn't
do.
get a garnish in mine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I screwed you guys on the
Me
garnish.
neither.
Sorry about that.
that's all right.
that's all right.
Here, would you like mine?
Appearance. when you're done chewing it.
You're right.
Yeah, so appearance may be a little bit low on that scale if we're scoring it, but it's fine.
That's
It is
true.
cool. I like the.
Hey,
I
look,
do
if you're
like
if you're into pretty drinks, this one's maybe not for you, dude.
Well, when you're charging $14 at a cocktail bar, it's
you
got to
better-
look
You
good.
better impress me.
Yeah.
So
What is with that? Like, what is a decent price where you're like, I'm okay spending that on an old fashioned?
I'd max at $12.
12.
I mean, I've paid more than that and enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
Is that on a
it's-
P card or?
No, on Alton's dime, yeah. 'Cause I think at Barrel and Fork, it's like closer to like $18, isn't it?
yeah, it depends on the bourbon. Yeah, but
yeah,
Probably.
that's because of the goggles and the
yeah.
picks.
Yeah.
It's a very nice fire pit they got there.
It is.
Yeah.
I was talking about the pick. They
Oh.
break the ice apart. But they do make a good cocktail there. I will say that, and the show is pretty good.
Okay.
The probably one of the best ones I've had is at Five Church in downtown Charlotte, and they actually do a mixed nuts on the rim of the glass,
Oh,
which is kind of cool, especially as it's super cold outside. You're sipping it and you're chewing some nuts.
You just gave me an idea.
I like it.
About nuts?
No,
Okay, just checking.
I'm covered. Thank you.
I'm glad they're covered.
Thank you
Let's keep it that way.
for all of us.
So, Kratt's simple, old fashioned.
You know what? I like it, Kratt. I do like the warmth of your bitters mix.
Yeah.
It puts a little holiday twist on it.
It does. Yeah.
Look at you, Holiday, with the
it's
red
holiday.
microphone.
Exactly.
Ho, ho,
Christmas
I
music.
do think in the spirit of this podcast, you should call it the 1, 2, 3 bourbon or the 1, 2, 3 old fashioned
The 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
versus
we can do
3,
that.
2, 1.
It's actually 1, 3, 2, but
Go.
Go.
Now? One,
Yeah.
1, 3,
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a classic count-in.
always.
I like it.
I do like it. It's very good.
Okay.
All right.
Tell us more about old fashions.
What do you want to know?
What's it she say?
What's next?
What's the next paragraph?
What's the next paragraph? That's right. I actually seem to be missing some information, so
That's unlikely.
I might have to go back.
Go back to the
That's
truck?
Unlikely. So,
Run out to the truck.
so the old fashioned cocktail actually, we talked 1962. Jerry Thomas's bartender guide. I can't read tonight, but it was originally made with gin. So and whiskey became a definitive part of the drink in the 1880s when James Pepper is credited with switching the ingredients in favor of his own brand of bourbon.
Smart man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Louisville.
That's right.
Then he took it to Waldorf, right?
Yes, he did.
Originally, they had gin.
Yeah, that was one thing I was curious about. Is like Yeah.
Pine needles and
That has its
bitters and-
own,
Yeah.
an intense
Early on,
flavor.
it seemed like it could bounce around with any spirits, but I
Yeah.
wonder, I haven't seen an old fashioned with anything other than
Yeah, I hadn't either.
whiskey bourbon
Right.
since I started paying attention. Have you guys seen anything, or you think we've all kind of circled around it's old fashioned?
Because I think as a standard language at a bar or restaurant,
Yeah.
when you say old fashioned,
It's a bourbon
it should be like
Yeah.
understood what it is. But every once in a while, when we've been out, you've ordered something different, Kurt. Like when you get it with like brandy or something in it. Is that like a Wisconsin?
I have
old-fashioned?
yeah. So brandy old fashions are very typical Wisconsin. So obviously brandy, I think, is the number one consumer of brandy in the country.
Tracy herself.
Tracy herself.
Okay.
Hello, Sean. But it brings back memories for me because my dad drank brandy old fashions, and he taught me how to make them, not realizing why he taught me how to make them until once he taught me, then it was like, hey, go make me a brandy old fashioned. So I became the bartender.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, it's and what's really interesting is I remember Angostura bitters even back then. So because he always had that yellow cap.
It's probably the same
bottle.
one.
It probably
I don't think you can ever go through 2 bottles in a lifetime.
no,
So
you don't. They last forever. So
I think I already have.
but
I will.
but
just a shake.
but this gets back to what we were talking about, where it's a very simple drink, but it can be complex because there's so many varieties of it. So
Yeah.
Right.
Liz and I would drink Southern Comfort Old Fashioned Sweets, which was like a twist on an old fashioned, because you can add sweet soda to it, you can add sour to it, and then you have an old fashioned sour, you have an old fashioned sweet. Or you can do just a straight old fashioned. It just depends on what you're doing. So like what we're doing tonight is pretty much just what I would call like a straight old fashioned.
Okay.
But then there's all these twists that people put on them to either change it or sweeten it up or, whatever that might be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to get tonight too.
Okay.
Right?
I think so.
Who's up next?
Who's up next?
I'm all mixed up.
Alton?
Okay. Well, we know that.
All right.
Glad I'm in good
go to the
company.
kitchen.
Let's go to the kitchen.
The gate.
We're letting
too
Derek.
strong.
We're letting Derek go last
It's all
because
right.
I don't want
It's
to go
all right.
after him.
I'll gussy it up.
Yeah.
You're wearing ascots by the time it's all over.
What did he say? What did he say?
They'll have little ascots on them.
Oh yeah, we'll be wearing bow ties.
Fred Minnick.
Oh, this smells good.
We'll see.
All right, so we're on to old fashioned number 2. Now again, all using the same base
Same
of
base.
old fashioned old tub.
Yep.
Old tub for
Yep.
the old fashioned. All right, so
smell
Alton, this
good.
is your.
Yep.
I got a lot of citrus on the nose.
Yeah, a lot of citrus. I'm a big fan of citrus. So there's a zest and a slice of orange in this. I'm fairly new, I got to admit, to the old fashioned category. So this was kind of fun. I've been playing around with it for a couple of weeks, but figured out that the sugar and the citrus are the 2 things that I like the most. So what I do here is I take the Domino sugar cube and 1 teaspoon of Demerara.
Okay.
Put those together, and then I sprinkle vanilla on it. So some recipes use the bitters to dissolve and then muddle down. But I use vanilla instead.
Just like saturated.
Yep,
Or do you hit- okay.
just saturate it, let it, and then like a teaspoon of water on top of it. So it's basically
yeah.
This
simple
almost
syrup.
tastes like a summer drink.
Yeah, it's
the citrus
It
is
gets to
really
be pretty
good.
sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then drop a couple ounces of bourbon on top of that, and then
I like
again either the lemon or the citrus Angostura bitters on top of it.
Okay.
Finish it off.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
So enjoy.
Do you have ratios?
Enjoy.
Now a little of this, a little of that.
Okay.
Which they do talk about in the history of the old fashioned. That it's not precise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Alton. Very good.
It is very sweet, very smooth. The sugar, I think, cuts the any bite from the bourbon.
From the bourbon.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't really taste. It's funny because you don't taste suburban. I don't taste suburban in
No.
this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
The citrus and the sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
part of what got me pushed to this recipe over the last few weeks, and I think I told you guys, Natalie and I went to Florida, and so went by the liquor store there. And we're going to load up and make some old fashions, but they had a premix. I think it was called Handy and Schiller,
Okay.
and it was it's basically a Buffalo Trace bourbon that was barreled, and then they mixed in bitters, and I think they
into the barrel.
Yeah, I think
cool.
they finished it in the barrel and then they bottled it. So all we had to do in Florida, and have to go get all the ingredients, just went and got a navel orange and some ice.
It just
and
got hammered.
we did sit on the beach and enjoy it. So for the first time ever, though, Natalie was like, "Oh, this is pretty good."
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's a gateway drink.
It was a gateway drink. That's right.
I think it is. Well, think about it. I mean, the approachable part of this is if someone it's like, I really want to get into bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could walk up to it and try it.
Yep.
Neat or on the rocks. Or,
Yep.
But to have stepping into it with the sweetness of it,
Yep.
it's a good call.
I swear it's like a summer drink.
Yeah.
Very, very, very refreshing.
So how do you order an old fashioned when you're at the bar?
You know what? I never, since there are so many people that take pride in it or have their own twist on it, I never change anything other than sometimes I'll switch the bourbon out.
Okay.
Show me your trade,
Yep.
Mr. Old Fashioned Maker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think I told you guys this story before, but I think one of the best old fashions I've had was in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yep.
Yeah, where the guy asked you
And
some.
it was just a series of questions, and then he went off and made this old fashioned. That was pretty
Well,
amazing.
when you have multiple wives, you can make one hell of an old fashioned.
David,
Look at this one.
You have to.
we just lost our listeners. We just lost our listeners in Utah.
Sorry, we already got the points are on the board already.
That's right. Yeah. If you know anybody in Idaho, though,
Seriously, like
No, but I mean, I think it is.
Is it a dry
I mean,
state?
I think it is. I mean, I ordered one last night, and I said I'll have a Knob Creek 9 old fashioned.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think everybody orders it a different way, but it can just be a bourbon old fashioned. It could be a specific bourbon old
I
fashioned.
thought we weren't bourbon snobs.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's funny coming from you, dude. Seriously,
We may need to post an open roll here.
But now that's
Lord.
that's a really good comment there. You ordered a really good bourbon
Yep.
to be mixed with a bunch of sugar
Yep.
and bitters.
Translation.
Worth it?
really bad decision.
No, really not, because the way that it was actually made was
Yeah.
it was predominantly bourbon with just a small hit of some bitters and a little bit of sugar or simple syrup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
the profile of the bourbon was
was
very
strong.
much there.
Okay,
So
that's good.
Yeah, I was going
And,
to bring that up.
yeah.
Yeah. Where do you draw the line? You're like, okay, you're clearly behind the bar trying to
Yeah.
gouge
So
me.
I had a buddy that I worked with. He lived in Louisville, and Woodford was his go-to.
Yep.
Yeah, Woodford Double O, which is
Great.
grand.
Yeah.
But he always mixed it with a Diet Coke.
Okay, that's wrong.
So that's like it's like, okay, I'm not sure that that's legal or fair,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
But then I had a buddy the other night who was traveling on business. He was in Denver, and he texted me, and he's like, "I just had the best old fashioned ever." And I said, "What was it?" And it was a Weller. So again, it was a
Happy old fashioned.
which it was like, I was like, I guess I get it. It's like, to your point, Kurt, if that's
Depends on how it's made.
flavor profile, and they're just complimenting it.
Yep.
I guess it's inbound.
It depends on how it's made.
So,
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
if I put Weller or 9 in
I'll
this concoction,
slap you.
yeah, exactly. I'd be like, this is a waste.
Much like my old fashioned too. Yeah.
It's a great debate
Yeah.
because we've all scanned the menu.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, they're making it with that? No. Like,
No.
That's
I'm sorry, the guys that
So- So
yeah.
do you think it's a pretentious drink?
Geez, I don't know. In today's world, no. I mean, it's not like a green Cosmo, with a funky martini glass. It's still a bourbon based drink.
Yeah.
That's a funny question because I see where you're coming from, but it's also like the most basic, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's
the
classic.
default. If it's not Jack and Coke, it's an old fashioned.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah. But I do think there's something all about the experience of drinking an old fashioned and like where that actually takes you. So if you think of the idea of an old fashioned, like what conjures up in your mind?
So like a country club and like a big leather sofa with cigars around you kind of thing? Or
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I go to a country club, but
no, I was
yes.
asking you.
Oh, no,
that's what you
to
were
me, it's
getting
more
at.
like a speakeasy kind of drink. Like you're going into this very kind of
Yeah.
dark, they're kind of muddling up
I see
behind the
that.
bar
Yeah.
and it's quiet and there's some good little lounge music playing in the background.
Yep.
And it kind of has this, I don't want to say shushy kind of swanky feel to it, but it's like, I don't know. To me, it's a classic cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Cosmo to me is not a cocktail. That's just like whatever. But it's truly, I think, one of the most grounded cocktails if you look
Yeah.
at all the cocktails that are out there,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
you guys have never ordered a Cosmo, have you?
No.
Okay. I'm like, oh,
I can't hold on to one of those glasses. That's my problem.
At least not with your pinky out. No.
just wanted to clarify. Okay.
No, but I do think there's something about an old fashioned that conjures up a whole kind of
I agree.
like,
I agree.
vision.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting just on the topic of cocktails. I think, Kurt being from the Midwest, Derek from the Northeast, Alton and I from the South. In the South, it was all about like, let's have a toddy.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a cocktail hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Versus the Midwest. I know like when first time I went up to see Sarah's family and meet all of them, there was like cocktail hour right before dinner. And it was the port wine cheese and the crackers and everything came out and everybody had a cocktail.
Yep.
So it's just interesting too, just when you think about the differences
true,
across
actually.
the country.
That is true.
When you say cocktail in the South, it's kind of like, I'm not really sure what that is. But, so it's just interesting.
That is true.
It's interesting.
And we then had another one after dinner. So.
And I tell you, that is one of my favorite things about the Midwest is it's like dinner starts at 4:00.
I know.
And it's a cocktail,
Starts
and it
at
goes to
right,
dinner, and then
I was just having this
and there's
conversation
another cocktail.
over
that.
work, and I said, "Listen, I grew up in a town of 5,000 people. I bet you we had more bars in the city of Charlotte."
Well, there's nothing else to do. Snowmobile and drink, right?
Keep you warm for a long time.
Love it. Absolutely. All right, who's up next? Are we?
I think I'm going to go next because I certainly don't want to go after this guy. That's for sure. So.
I think Alton, we're about ready to get to an interesting.
But here's what I will say: thank you for the garnish. You stepped it up a little bit.
All right.
I think that was
a cherry in here.
That was a direct slam on me.
it was.
By the way, Kurt, that cherry came from my jar.
Yeah.
So that's true. I was like,
I forgot it.
I forgot the cherry. Yeah.
You took my cherry.
But there is something nice about finishing the drink and you're like, and there's dessert. At the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chew on.
Something that's been marinating for a while.
And I will tell you, like, I have ordered old fashions before, and I'm like, don't forget the fruit.
Don't forget the fruit.
Because depending on where you are, sometimes you get into these shishi
like,
places, and
they
they
don't
just
put cherries in it.
no, they just put like a little, like the cube with the and I'm like, dude, where's the orange and the cherry?
I want the whole show.
Give me the whole damn thing.
When we capture the show notes and send them over to Derek, and Derek rewrites the show notes, we'll make sure
just
that we
add and edit. It's all good.
There was no adding. There was full on editing. But we'll make sure we include all of our favorite brands. But these cherries in particular, Traverse City, I believe, is the brand, and they actually have bourbon in them, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So,
What kind of bourbon?
I like it.
I don't know, but I do know I'm never going to be a copywriter for Red Iron. I know that much. Or even Flat Iron, Kurt.
Or flat iron, depending on what you want to call it. Yeah, I did get it right in the more important details. So.
This meal. Yeah.
Alton, good job. This is great.
Yeah, this was
All
great.
right.
Yeah, it
Enjoy.
was really good.
Cheers.
Really good. Cheers.
Now on your the orange peel that's in here, some people will they'll zest it, they'll run it around the rim
You
of
mean
glass.
some people do?
They'll light it on fire.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nope. Just drop it in there just for the little.
But there will be
There's a
no
little bit
fires
to
in my
do.
kitchen tonight.
Yep.
All right, I'm digging it.
Yeah,
Cool.
me too.
Nice finish. All right, let's get to Kurt's.
Be interesting. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I took a long shot on this one because it's not one I've made before.
Oh, I like it.
So,
Risky.
Calling an audible.
I'm calling it audible. That's right. But I will tell you, and the only reason I did it is because I didn't have all the ingredients until tonight. So,
Okay.
all right. So,
what's in it?
well, you tell them. What do you smell? What are you getting?
Is there
got the
bourbon?
orange.
Hopefully, there's bourbon.
What there's definitely bourbon in it. Mm-hmm.
I got a lot more bourbon. I get less on the sweet. I get some sweet,
Yeah, or something.
but I get more bourbon cutting through, and I get the orange.
Okay. What else are you getting? It's funny because when I put my nose to it, I'm like, it smells like dish soap. But
I don't know what kind of dish soap you use. It smells like
bourbon dish soap.
I think it tastes a little bit like mine without the spice.
So
I don't know. I'm
I put
still
a
in
little
orange.
touch more of bourbon in it.
Okay.
So I went a little over on the 2 ounces. It has smoked sugar in it.
Smoked sugar.
Yep.
I'm
So
not getting that at all.
it actually is a smoked sugar. So the challenge I had, and this is the learning, right? So that's why I said I tried it the first time. I couldn't get the sugar to dissolve, so I got to figure that I probably need to muddle it
Yep.
to get that sugar down, and I think more of that taste would come out. But I do get a small hint of that in here, and then I put in 4 dashes of cocoa bitters,
Yeah.
2 dashes of orange bitters.
Oh, I like that combo.
So-
All right. What's
That's
that?
a
What's
very
that?
good
What's
flavor.
that? What's that? Christmas orange chocolate ball thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Like you crack it open.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I do. It's kind of like oozes. It's like that.
It's like a Cadbury egg for Christmas.
No.
Yeah,
It's
kinda
the
like
same
that.
concept.
But
Same
it's like
concept.
the size of a baseball or softball.
Yeah.
It's wrapped in
Yeah.
foil usually. Isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fancy.
Yeah.
So
they sell
it's,
it at, like,
it's different,
Walgreens.
but I think if I could get the sugar to,
Where'd you get the smoky sugar?
I bought it at the spice shop in Brookdale.
Yeah.
It's whiskey barrel smoked sugar,
Come on.
and it actually really smells. I mean, it smells delicious. It'd be great, like for a rub or something like that, like on a piece of meat or
Yeah.
like on a steak or like a pork tenderloin or
interesting.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
All right.
But so, and I wonder too if it's maybe not the right, like maybe for beverages, it's more like the granules are smaller. But so anyway,
I think you're right about the muddling it. If you're able to break it down. And,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kurt, it also would be interesting too if you took that sugar and made a simple syrup out of it.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
But I can see where it would be pretty tasty in this.
Yeah.
I think if you took like a wedge of orange and put that in there with it and muddled the orange with that brown sugar with the smoked sugar, I think
Yeah.
that could be really good
So you
too.
take the cocoa bitters on top of the sugar. That would be another.
Yeah.
That'd be and then throw a teaspoon
right.
of water or something on it.
Yeah.
To accelerate it. That
Yeah.
would be good.
That's a
Yeah.
good call.
Okay, so full confession here. This will be interesting to see the reactions.
Yep.
I think the smoky old fashioned is wildly overrated.
Where they put it under glass and
Or there's myriad ways of smoking,
Infuse
but
it
yeah, but that whole idea. I
yeah.
mean, it's like the show is awesome,
the show's good.
but as far as like game changer on the taste, I think it's wildly overrated.
Okay.
I haven't had one.
Okay.
You ever had one?
No.
Where were we? We had it after we went to Whiskey Prison. We went out to lunch.
Oh, that was
after,
at
Is it that
713. Was it? Is a number?
Yeah, the main street place right there in,
Yeah.
in
Mount Pleasant.
So
Yep.
I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but my buddy Gary and I, every couple weeks we'll go to Bonefish Grill. And there's a bartender there. She knows we order the same thing all the time. So we literally walk in, she sees us, she starts making them.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is she makes the old fashioned and then she puts smoke in a glass and puts it inside that glass. Mm-hmm. And it just sits there and you wait till all that smoke dissipates down into the... I'm a huge fan. Like I absolutely,
What is the drink?
absolutely love them.
How much do you pay for a drink like that?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. He is loaded.
I guess. Good Lord. Two things you
He's
can't
like,
hide, right?
doesn't
You can't
matter.
hide.
It doesn't matter.
Can't hide pregnancy or money.
How many toys do you have? I don't have near the toys you have.
Stop. We don't talk about that stuff. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that stuff.
I don't know. They're probably. I'm gonna guess they're probably anywhere between $12 and $15 a pop.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Like you never had one, you should try it. Like I said, the show's good.
Well,
Yeah. Well, what do they have it smoke? What are they smoking?
no, they're not
with?
even that much actually. No. What?
Right.
What is she smoking it with? Because I've seen people who use like the
It's
barrel.
marijuana. It's
like
marijuana.
They'll take char from a barrel and like reignite it and smoke it with a whiskey barrel.
Yeah, I don't know the exact wood, but I actually think it's hickory that they burn inside this. They've got there's all different kinds of smokers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the infuser and
the
stuff.
infuser and stuff.
Yeah.
The one that they have has like it has like the rubber hose on it, and
Yeah.
they put the wood in the top, and they light. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
They're going
It's
to,
like a hookah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're going
Exactly.
They're going
Not
over
to
to the
be
pizza oven.
Not to be confused with hookah.
This is true.
So, so anyway, so
It's good.
yeah, I
like it.
haven't like gotten it to where I want it, obviously, because it's the first time I made it. But
Yep.
I just found the smoke.
So walk through it again, Kurt. What all?
So it's 2 ounces of bourbon,
Yep.
4 dashes of cocoa bitters, 2 dashes of orange bitters, and a quarter ounce of the smoked sugar.
Yeah, I like it. Different.
Good call.
Yep. Well done.
And now that I'm thinking about it, you know why? Oh no, I did put a half ounce. I did put a half ounce in. So okay, I was gonna say I didn't put enough sugar in it, but yeah. So
Cool.
So I got to play around with it because you guys can take a look at the smoked sugar. It's actually it smells great. So
Because I noticed when you were stirring it, the granules were getting smaller.
yeah, I was afraid that the ice was gonna dilute it too much. So
Yeah.
but
Well done.
yeah,
It's good. It's good.
So-
That's the thing is like I don't know if I'm ready to create like this is my old fashioned profile versus like I don't know, give me an old fashioned.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting a little bit of sweet,
Yeah.
a little bit of spice, but I don't know if I'm ready to nail down.
Yeah,
like,
I kind of like
this one
Alton.
wasn't great. I liked both of yours. This one wasn't great, but again,
I like Alton's approach of just I'm going to order an old fashioned. Let's just see what shows up. You know, because I think part of the beauty of this drink is that it does vary.
it does for sure.
So
And I imagine think of all the bourbons that we've tried. I would have a hard time calling a knob 9 into the old fashioned. I'm in the Maker's Mark, Turkey 101, Old Tub, kind of base mixer type. I don't know if that's just I'm.
But here's my challenge to that.
Sure.
When we talked about Old Tub, to me, that's not like we all said this isn't like a basic bourbon. Like that bourbon was so good. The only reason it feels basic is because of its price.
$24.95.
So
Yeah, I know.
So it's
Yeah. But I think you could also dial it up and say Old Tub is not as spicy as Turkey 101. But if I'm going to mix
fair.
something, I don't know. I guess I feel like if I'm going to, and I know we're not being snobby, but I feel like I would enjoy the purity of a higher end, higher price, older, aged.
Here also was the other challenge. I had a choice: Angel's Envy, Woodford Reserve, Knob Creek 9, and they had one other. So I didn't really have a choice of like an Old Tub.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't specifically say.
No, I did because I saw
but it was
what was
because you had
available, and I'm like, I'll have a Knob Creek 9. So yeah,
And some places will, on the menu, they'll say
yep,
it's a bullet.
It's a bullet old fashioned.
And you're
Yeah.
like, okay. Then you can go in going,
Yeah.
all right, it's going to be a little spicier
yeah,
than
Yeah.
something else. But
yep. But again, I think that goes back to the profile, right? If you want something a little sweeter, or
Right.
do you want something, because they talk about actually doing it with the rye, which I know you don't like rye.
The R word.
Exactly. The R word. Whoa. Exactly.
Let's go to commercial break.
Let's talk about snobs now. So,
But I could see if you were like, I want something, I want to feel the spice, I want to feel the heat, but I also want to taste something really sweet.
yeah.
Then you might, you're right, you would go with a rye. And you'd
You
say,
would.
Can I get I don't know, is it a rye old fashioned or is old fashioned just boxed off for bourbon?
No, I mean, you can do a rye old fashioned.
Actually, there's
you
a
would
lot
call
of
it
them.
that, right?
There's
Yeah.
a lot of them out there that are rice.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then
sure.
you'd be guaranteed, like, I'm going to get the spice and the heat.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
then
That's
go,
where
go
the-
crazy on the sugar and the cherries and everything else because that's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be a fun
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, I like it.
So, sorry, I tried it out on you guys. But
I like
Cool.
it.
One more.
All right, let's do it.
So this is the difference between an $8 old fashioned and a $15 old fashioned.
The show.
So yeah, but think about it. Like, okay, when something like this gets slid across you on the bar, right? You're like, all right, that's worth it right there, right? I wish you folks could see it because it looks delicious.
It's too pretty to drink.
It's too pretty to drink.
Yeah,
A little wedge, a little wedge of blood orange, a little twisty of the
Got the bourbon goggles on there.
the orange skin, and two little dark cherries sitting there right on top on a nice big ball of ice, and some golden brown.
Yeah. So
Beverage.
for the backdrop, as we all expected, so Kurt is kind enough to host us. So Kratt and I show up here, and Kurt's got like a whole 2x4 section of the bar covered with bitters and accoutrement.
Well, and
then
trail mix and crackers.
And Kratt and I, a
Fantastic
couple of
host.
brown bags, and we're like, yeah,
right.
shit, we'll figure this out. Then we're like, okay, here comes Do rolls in with his arsenal of
kit.
pre-mix. There's no one was in that pre-mix thing.
Yeah, right.
And it could have been like in a Tupperware Ziploc, but no, it's like in an Italian glass bottle with the flip
With the little flip top on it. Exactly. It's an old Grolsch bottle.
Exactly, man. And this is actually blood orange.
But I will give it to you, Alton. You came with the hooch container, and that's my favorite.
That's right.
It's a stronger hand.
When is a mason jar not the right hand?
Stronger hand.
I think that may actually be in Alton's DNA is to carry one of those things around.
I'm down with that.
All right, so give us the rundown.
All right, give us the rundown.
So I was just talking to Kurt in the kitchen. I started watching.
That's a whole other podcast. Kurt in the kitchen.
Kurt in the kitchen.
Kurt in the kitchen.
I started watching Masterclass, the online training hashtag Masterclass. Masterclass /
because you
Bourbon
got all
Boys for
this
your coupon.
because you got all this free time in your day. Good Lord.
And so I was like, I really want to learn how to make cocktails. And these guys are they're both like James Beard award-winning bartenders from New York, from London. And their presentation is crazy.
Who is the guy from London? Because a famous bartender from London just passed away.
Lion. His name is Lion. He's an Indian. He has a full Indian name, but he goes by Lion.
Okay.
But I'll send you a link.
Okay, do that.
Link in the show notes too.
Okay.
We'll start like an affiliate rewards thing.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, when I was at BCB a week ago, a famous bartender passed away, and it was like a major announcement at this event.
Man. Okay.
So, yeah.
So these guys turned me on to a lot of like understanding not only how to make it, but like what goes into the different parts and pieces. Like, what do you get from the bitters? What do you get from ice? When to mix something with ice, when not to. And so I learned a lot from just watching that, and it got me into wanting to experiment different flavors. So this one here is Old Tub. So 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 ounces of Old Tub, mixed with a 1/4 ounce of a simple syrup with Demerara, 2 to 1.
God, you guys can pronounce that so well.
So lots of R's and A's in it.
Yeah.
I know, I just can't get it
Demerara.
there.
Yeah. So it's a 2 to 1 simple syrup. So I have a bottle of that. I think I brought it with me.
Yep.
So you take a cup of Demerara, sugar, and 2 cups of water, boil it, let it cool down, and it's like this. It looks like it's the color of molasses, but it's super thin.
So it's like a syrup.
It's a simple syrup.
Yeah.
So you skip the muddling step, which we'll be curious to see if that matters. And just playing around with different ratios of I want more bourbon and less sweet in it. And then for bitters, I use black walnut bitters. So 6 shakes per pour of the black walnut bitters to give it that woody walnut
I got it.
nutty taste. And then blood orange for just a deeper color, richer orange.
Yep.
And these, I like 2 cherries. I just like the...
Because you're just fancy that way.
Because you're just
It's
fancy
such a
that way.
long stick. I could put like 4 more on there.
One's good, two's better.
That's right. Hell yeah.
So...
More's not always better.
But I don't know if I've figured out the taste of it. But
Well, I have.
yeah,
It's good.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
delicious.
You like it? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I have.
I have. I mean, this is winter chicken
This
dinner.
is good, yeah.
it's syrupy. Like it's got a thicker.
It does actually. Yeah,
Syrupy to it,
it does.
viscosity.
Actually, when you drink it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good.
It's good. It's
Here's what I
it's
like about it.
savory. This is of the ones that we have.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the word. Yeah.
it's almost. I hate to say it, but it's almost like there's a little bit of rye in there.
Could be. Well, that's
Them's fighting words, boy.
Fighting words. Those are fighting words.
I think that's probably less of the sweet, right? Because it's I don't know.
Could be.
I've gone heavier on the simple syrup, and it's too sweet to me, and I can't taste the bourbon. I want that heat, the bite.
Yep.
Yeah, I think compared to like what the two of you made,
Yeah.
and mine just kind of sucked. But yours
suck?
actually had a really nice like. I don't want to say light, but it was very. Yours was super citrusy.
Yep.
There was no spice in it. Yours was just really smooth and like. I think you had described.
His was the baking spices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yours, I feel like has a different bourbon in it. The taste is very, very different.
It's
Because I
just
put
good.
Pappy in it.
Like hell you did.
This is Old
Now
Tub.
them's fighting words, boy.
No, it's just straight Old
I
Tub.
don't know if I told you guys I had tasted Weller 12 when I was at BCB.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Worth the hunt.
It wasn't even a hunt. It was just there on the shelf. I'm like, can I try that?
That's the black label.
The black label, yeah. And
can I try that? Good for you, Kurt. Way to be empowered.
seriously, well,
Advocate
I
for
mean, you could
yourself.
try anything
That's
they had
awesome.
on the shelf, but I was like dumbfounded that it was there. And I tried it, and I was telling Liz about it, and she's like, did you taste it? I'm like, yeah. That if we ever found a bottle of that, I'm telling you, buy it because...
It's about $700, I think. last time I saw it.
I think they said retail on it was 400.
Which means to find it's probably about $700.
Fair enough. But still, I'm telling you that, like, we talk about our taste of bourbon. It was...
I'll pitch in.
Yeah.
I've got clearance. Remember, Natalie gave me clearance. I'm not asking
That's true.
again. Yep.
Yes, ask once.
So, anyway, sorry.
Have y'all checked your Venmo bourbon balance yet recently? I'm not sure if I even have anything left in there because Natalie's on the road.
Yeah. She is on the road.
Oh.
Natalie's on the road.
Yeah,
so
we need
may
to pull over.
Yeah, good point.
Dude, I got to tell you, this is
really
probably
good.
the best old fashioned I've ever had.
Come on.
I'm not kidding.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not kidding. This is really, really good.
I got to say it's good, but I got to say the one in Utah was better.
I would expect that.
I'm telling
But
you,
it was, but I'm telling you, it was better in a different way. And that's the thing. I mean, I think that just was so unique because of the fact that he made it from asking me like 3 or 4 questions.
How much money you got?
I asked you a lot of questions today.
You did. Okay, yours
What
is
time we
good.
starting?
Yours is good. Yeah. That's right.
How are we doing this?
Yeah.
No, what's been fun is experimenting with it, changing the ratios, trying to find that flavor. I don't know if I've found the one I like,
good.
but it's good.
real good.
Now the pre-mix, so I mixed it this afternoon. So it's been chilled for like 3 hours in that bottle. So I don't know if that
So do you
does
think that
anything.
makes a difference?
That's the part I don't know. Like I love
It's almost like it marinated.
Yeah.
This thing is built from the glass up, where you take a bunch of sugar and you dilute it and muddle it
Yeah.
and then pour. Like I love that build. I think that's a lot of the theater, which is kind of cool. It feels unique and fresh.
I think it'd be really cool if somebody came to your bar and ordered like a $15 old fashioned, and you pulled out the bottle and popped the top and like poured it over the ice, threw an orange in there, and said, "Here you go."
Yeah. Keep them coming. It's the fastest $15 I ever made. Yeah.
This is really good.
This
I
is
want
good.
the
Yeah.
recipe for this one.
Okay.
And you guys talk about this. How do you pronounce it? The
Demerara.
Demerara
Yep.
sugar. So
Yeah.
where do you get that?
I got it at Harris Teeter.
Really?
Yeah. In like the
Okay.
baking section.
Yeah.
Like the top shelf where no one goes for
Okay.
stuff.
Okay,
on-
so I'm
it's
gonna
on
have to get
Amazon,
some.
too.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get some of that
Because they're
they're
an
allowing me
advertiser,
some
so we
to
need to make sure we
experiment.
call them out.
So, yeah.
Amazon. They're advertising with us now. So.
That's true.
okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
They advertise with
Planning ahead.
everybody. You know that.
I mean, we are
Yeah.
for sale still.
We are for sale.
What, 40 million for Smartless? What did we decide on? We would go
No,
with
it was
4?
80 million. It was 82
80
million.
million. Yeah, I threw out 4 and got a lot of dagger eyes on that one. So all
I'd
right,
take
6.
I'd take 800 at this point.
I take a couple of bottles.
Yeah, just give us some Babby.
This is really good, Derek.
This is really good.
Congratulations.
And I
You win.
haven't even gotten to the fruit salad yet.
I know.
Yummy.
You almost have to drink through the fruit salad to drink it.
It is. Well, that's part of it too. Is like there's a lot of distraction in here. Sleight of hand.
No, I'm pretty focused.
So, okay. So so for people who are listening, thank you for the one listener out there. Like, how do you tell them how to make an old fashioned?
I think to me it's an experiment. So go back to your Utah experience. Do you like things that are spicier or sweeter? Start with that. And then in the sweeter space, do you want the boozy spicy or do you want baking spice? Because that's going to be on your bitters or your bourbon. On the sweeter side, is it the fruit or is it the bitters and the amount of sugar?
Yeah.
So I think it's a great cocktail for people just to play. Like you
Yeah.
can't go wrong. I don't think we've ever.
No, I mean,
Even experimenting.
some
you're
taste
like,
better than others, but you can't go wrong. I
You
think
really
that's a
can't.
good point.
I don't think you can mess it up.
Right.
And I think it's a safe drink to order if people are like, I feel like an after dinner drink that's going to be, interesting to taste and a good like slow down the night,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sweet ending type of a thing. I think that's an old fashioned's a good one.
But I think what I love about the old fashioned is that, going back to what Dave was talking about, I think you can have it before dinner, you can have it during dinner, you can have it after dinner.
That's fair.
You know,
Yep.
I think it's a really Yeah, I think it's a classic for sure.
I think one thing for those who are just going to start playing around with it. So when we first started this, playing around with them, a month or so ago, I just went to the grocery store and bought a simple syrup off the shelf. It was really thick, very high fructose syrup.
Yep.
And it was like, man, this is not good.
Yeah.
So that would be the thing to encourage folks is like to either start with that and then pivot off of that, or just skip that step altogether and look for like more natural or different sugars for that simple syrup base, because I think it makes a huge difference in kind of the weight of the drink and the artificial taste of it.
Those syrups are so easy to make, though. I mean, I made a honey syrup for some drinks I was making the other night, and it was like a quarter cup of honey.
Yep.
So you bring I think it was a half cup of water to just not a boil, but just like getting it going.
Yep.
Dump in the honey, take it off the heat, and just mix it constantly till it cools. And you have like a simple syrup for a couple days.
Yep.
Well, and if you're in a super hurry, you just drop a sugar cube in there and 1 tablespoon of boiling water,
Yep.
and it just stir it up until it's done.
Takes care of
Yep.
it.
And the water's not gonna hurt the drink.
No, not that much. And then think about like you did honey, you can do maple syrup.
I've done
So-
maple syrup
so, like-
in them before.
Yeah, you start to go in this path of I picked up an elderberry concentrate from the elderberry lady that's at Josh's Farmers Market. And I did I went to IKEA and got the lingonberry concentrate.
Did they have a meatball version?
We should work on that. The gravy, old fashioned.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah,
Old
it'll
old
go.
fashioned.
It'll go well right beside the bacon.
Bacon old fashioned.
I have had old fashions
That's not
with
a
a
bad
big
idea.
chunk of bacon on a stick with a cherry to just like pushed in there.
Epic Steakhouse does that. They do that. They've got
makes sense.
They have a bacon and they've got a maple. Both very good.
I have made old fashions with maple syrup before.
All right. So now, just on the sweet profile, you've got honey, you've got maple syrup, you've got all the sugars. You could do a molasses or what is the sorghum? Sorghum.
Yep.
Sorghum, yep.
Sorghum is another sugar family. Like, I mean, as much as the profiles are for bourbon, there's as many profiles on the sweet
on the
side,
sugar side,
on the bitter side.
Yeah.
A whole another episode to talk about.
Molasses could be cool.
And then seasonally, pomegranate, blood orange. Going with the limes and the lemons for a spring.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot.
If you show up with a pumpkin spice old fashioned, I'm out. I'm out. It's just
Permission to come across the table at me.
I actually think what could be kind of cool is
Don't even notice.
not necessarily no, but going back to like the original idea of a cocktail, which was originated with gin. Like if you did a gin with sugar and some bitters, I wonder what that actually would taste like.
Yeah, but we're bourbon boys, not gin boys.
I'm not saying doing it here.
Good.
he's like
I'm glad.
he's moonlighting.
I know. That's apparently.
I'm gonna start my own gin
Spin-off.
Pine
podcast.
needles. Sorry, gin. There's only one way to drink gin, and that's with tonic and lime.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Ugh.
Negroni. You do Negroni too.
Well, straight up
Let's stay
gin.
focused,
Straight up
boys.
gin with olives is not bad.
Okay, that's how my daughter drinks it. So
Yeah.
All right.
It's a martini
yeah. It's in one of those fancy glasses again. It all comes back to the Cosmo.
with the pinky. With the pinky.
So I got to ask though, I mean, we talk about the experience, we talk about how to order it.
Yep.
Like we talked a little bit about the art, like the art of making an old fashioned. There is a little bit of theater to it. Can be. Simple theater. One man theater. One person theater.
Sounds so dirty.
Something.
A man and his puppet.
We're going to talk about mimes in a minute because we're going to talk mimes.
Seriously. You're always out.
God, Kurt.
But I mean, I'm going to go back to the idea. Like, listen, the old fashioned for me brings back a lot of memories, right? And I think every time I think about an old fashioned, I think about my dad, and I think about the really ugly bar we had in our basement that had red shake carpet on it, and it was
ugly.
a
That
classic.
sounds
It was a
beautiful.
classic.
What do
We
you
had
mean
red
ugly?
vinyl
Soundproof.
stools.
Yes.
It was like
I would expect that.
wood paneling, and it
Yeah.
was white laminate countertops.
Yep.
And,
Did you have the mirror with like the gold shimmer on it?
Like it was broken, but it was really gold.
No,
Yeah.
but we did have a lot of. We had a Schlitz beer sign, a Ham
course.
beer sign. We
Love
had
that.
these like really cool like fake lamps that were mounted on the
people-
That's
wall.
like a $25 cover
Old style.
charge right
They were
now.
old style lamps.
I know.
You had people in the background going, oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there, hey. No, we didn't talk like
Oh,
that
hey
where
there.
I came from.
Oh, out there in the bar.
We didn't talk like that.
Yeah, you did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, sure you did.
No, but I mean, it does. No, the
One of
idea,
Wisconsin talks
the
like
idea of an old fashioned truly brings back memories for me. I'm
Minnesota.
totally ignoring you because we did not talk like that. But so,
Derek, pinch my nose and I'll talk.
so I don't know. You didn't grow up with old fashions.
I did not.
No, I did not.
Neither of you. You didn't either. So I'm the only one who did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brandy old fashioned.
Yeah.
Brandy old fashioned.
That's cool.
That's
Sweet.
a cool, man. That's a cool
Sweet.
memory, though.
So it
That's
was
an awesome
brandy with a little bit of bitters, some simple syrup, a little bit of 7-Up,
Oh,
and cherries
Yeah.
on top
Wow.
with an orange slice.
I'm impressed with your dad. I could barely get my kids to train to go get a beer out of the damn fridge. And your dad's like,
You should, you should ask him to make a cocktail because there's a lot more fun to making cocktails than there is getting a beer.
there is.
Yeah, that was the
think
thing.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, there's cleanup
Let's
involved.
see
though.
how
They would have no
fucked up
part of
I can
that.
make dad.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Exactly.
No, but I mean, he was an old fashioned guy. So
That's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
Kurt, did you guys do brandy ice too?
What is that?
we did do brandy ice.
Okay.
Yep, that was
another Midwestern
more.
thing.
That was more like during the holidays
Yeah.
or for parties or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like brandy slushes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just crushed ice with brandy. With laden
Someone
with
basically
brandy.
left it outside, and they're like, "Oh shit,
I know, exactly.
I forgot that.
Stir it up.
It's a slushy."
Something
No, it was
something
really
that
brandy.
didn't make it from the snowmobile
no.
to the house.
Yeah. No.
Found along the trail.
Yeah. No. It was a definitely. So
All
yes,
right.
plenty of
Very
brandy
cool.
consumed. Bourbon did not. We did not have bourbon in our house.
Yeah.
It was all brandy. Brandy and whiskey.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
like it.
I don't think bourbon really. I mean, bourbon was always there.
It was always
I'm
there.
reading the
Yeah.
Bourbon Empire,
Yeah.
and it was always there. But man, I hadn't heard about an old fashioned till I watched Mad Men, and it was classic advertising in the 50s and 60s, and that was it. It was a bourbon,
Yeah.
old fashioned.
For us, it was 7 and 7 brandy old fashioned sweet or Southern Comfort old fashioned sweet.
Okay,
Yep.
I like it.
So
All right.
It's cool.
what do we got? We're kind of winding down.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we've all decided Derek wins.
Oh,
No, of
there-
course.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
come on.
Why don't you
There's
take
no
a,
doubt.
take
No,
a
this has
victory
been-
lap and
this has
pour me
been a good
another one.
night.
I know.
So since we didn't really get into a bourbon, it was kind of hard to think about a last call. But so I'm going to go a little different. Hope it doesn't suck. If it does, we'll come up with something new and re-record it.
We'll tell
but,
you.
Blame it on Kurt.
Yeah, but we talked about
Amanda.
Obviously, we're the bourbon boys, so we're very focused on the bourbon category. We talked about the old fashioned, the flexibility, the quality of bourbon that goes into it, the customization, the personal touch from the different bartenders and such, and how we make it. So, question for you guys: you go to a bar and you want a bourbon drink. There's not usually a long list of bourbon drinks. You can get a page and a half of vodka drinks or martinis or whatever, every shape and size. So other than an old fashioned, what's your go-to bourbon cocktail when you're out and about?
Oh, dang, that's a good call.
I'll go first.
All right.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, I'm going to. So we were just in D.C. dropping Elise off for school, and we went to this great restaurant called Founding Farmers.
Yeah.
And they had, I think I sent a picture actually of the rest of
You did.
the menu to you guys.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
was rich.
And
That was
they
really
had. I tried. They had. There were two that I tried. One was a coconut bourbon. It was infused with coconut. It wasn't actually coconut bourbon, but the drink was infused with coconut. I tried one of those, but they had what was called a bourbon smash. That thing was delicious. Like, it was so good. I can't tell you what was in it anymore, but it was really, really good.
Bourbon smash.
Bourbon smash.
Okay.
Because you had the bourbon, the bourbon colada, which is Founding Fathers bourbon infused with coconut, pineapple, and coconut cream?
No. There's another one that's just coconut. It's a coconut.
Oh, coconut old fashioned.
Yes, I had a coconut old
Yeah,
fashioned.
infused with coconut, cinnamon, and bitters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good.
But the smash was.
Where's
They
the
both
smash?
were really
So what
good.
what was the smash? Because the smash,
Oh,
the
hey,
bourbon
the
smash
maple
can be a
bourbon
lot
smash.
of different things.
Yeah, it was a maple bourbon smash. It reminded me a little bit of like a bourbon sour almost. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was their specific bourbon, so they must partner with somebody. The founding spirits bourbon infused with birch, lemon, orange, maple, and bitters.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
I'm not sure I know what birch tastes like.
But like this was the first restaurant.
Like a birch beer?
This was the first
Birch tree.
restaurant that I've been to. I mean, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have like 9 different drinks for
that's strong.
bourbon.
That's
Yeah,
strong.
That is strong. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like
So-
it.
So I'm gonna go with that
Bourbon smash. I like it.
maple bourbon smash.
Yep.
Maple bourbon smash.
Yep.
Alton, does it have to be like at a bar, like I have to purchase it, or it could be one that I want to make?
No, it could be something you make. I'm just, again, there's not a ton of bourbon
He's
cocktails.
always got to
what do
change
you
the
got? Yeah.
rules. Seriously, just
I know.
answer the damn question.
It's going to be, you know what's going to be? I
What?
take an ice cube and I put some bourbon on it.
No,
a little bitters.
Why would I
slap some orange in it? Shake it up a little bit.
Why would I put an ice cube in it? No, I think
You can drink an old fashioned, Nate.
outside of an old fashioned, yeah, I think the ones that I made down at the beach were probably
Peach smash?
the peach smash. So being a North Carolina boy, I love peaches, and
Yep.
we 2 ounces of bourbon. I think it's like basically a full peach.
Yeah.
Throw a bunch of ice into a shaker. Let's see. There was also what's that orange liqueur?
Cointreau.
Yeah, a little bit of that and a little bit of sugar, and you just shake it up in the mixer or in the shaker. And of course, it takes forever to strain out. You almost have to like take the spoon and like pull all the peaches out of the way because you muddle the peach.
You muddle the
I
peach.
know
I was
I'm
going to say,
getting
what do you
for
do with the
Christmas.
peach?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was so good.
You get them
So
a peach
good.
for Christmas?
I'm getting them a Hawthorne strainer.
Oh.
No, all right. But that's probably outside of the old fashioned
That sounds
the best
good.
bourbon drink I've had.
Yeah.
Because it was like I've always struggled to find a bourbon drink that I like in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting
That
around,
was a good one.
sitting around the fire, just like drinking bourbon neat all day
Yep.
long. In the fall having an old fashioned, but I just struggle a little bit during the summer times of,
Yeah.
and that's why I would just, especially taken with yours out because it was kind of like this kind of feels like a summer drink.
Yep.
I think you could surprise someone too and hand it to him and be like, you've been on the road, you're here at the beach. Like
That's what I did to you.
You did to me,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
But I could have given that to Deb, and she would have loved it because not knowing that it's bourbon.
Right.
Because it had just enough booze in it to feel like, okay, this is a beach drink.
Wasn't too much,
But that
yeah.
fresh peach,
Yeah.
you just muddled. Oh,
Very good.
Yep.
that was crazy good.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we are on last call, so like, let's watch our time.
Okay, good. Wow, Mr. History.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's part of the podcast.
Take your
last call.
let's take your bow tie and tweed
All
jacket
right.
off. And,
I'm going to follow Kratt and go an unexpected one. Deb and I had this in Disney on Boardwalk. There's a
Because nothing says Disney like bourbon.
they actually have a bourbon trail. So there's 19 places where you can go. You can get this
Those
little.
bastards have thought of everything.
know.
It's the mini old fashioned.
Oh, well played. Well played.
I think I prefer the goofy one.
Yes.
Dumbo.
So they have
the Dumbo old fashioned.
They've got a bourbon trail where you can go to each restaurant. They've got a special pairing of like pulled pork with this bourbon. I had a bourbon maple vanilla shake, like with bacon.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But we had one that was like I forget what it was, the Houdini something. It was the theme was like this magic parlor bar, and so there's a lot of theater that went around with it. But this one I've seen as called the Kentucky Negroni.
Okay.
And so a typical Negroni is gin based, and it's gin, vermouth, and Campari, equal parts.
Yep.
And so swap out the gin for bourbon. You've got Campari, so you've got this burnt orange liqueur bitter, which gives it like this bright red color.
Yep.
Sweet vermouth, and orange zest, and orange for garnish. So really, really light over ice.
Nice.
You got
good.
the boozy part of it, you got the spice and the flavor.
Yep.
But you put all that citrus from the Campari and the orange zest, and it's a great summer cocktail.
That's good.
where you're
Sounds
just like,
great.
it's
To try
really
that.
That
refreshing.
sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds great.
It was all about the zest. I like that.
All about the
All
zest.
about the
Or
zest.
Parmesan cheese, depending on how you look at it.
That's right.
And it actually made Disney bearable. That's awesome.
There is a way through downtown
There's
Disney.
a way through downtown Disney.
Of course, he probably had to mortgage his home for that one drink.
That's right. Exactly.
God.
That sounds good.
All right, Derek, bring us out.
Well, last
Alton?
one.
Oh,
Last
sorry.
one. Yeah, that's all right. Thanks, Kurt.
Sorry.
Kurtron.
Well, Dave took so long. I thought we got through all four of us.
Hell.
So a buddy of mine, who's also a bourbon drinker, and he's had access to some incredible bourbons. He's like, "Hey, you want a summer drink?" It was actually during the summer. Josh, and he's like, "You want something different?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So he started making up something, and it had ingredients I'd never heard of, like Aperol.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Aperol Spritz. That's a
Amaro
Campari.
No Nino.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one?
Amaro No Nino.
No Nino.
Oh, what is that? I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it was hard to find because he actually was asking as we traveled, to St. Louis one time, like, see if you can find this, and I had no luck with it. But anyway,
And it's a liqueur.
it's a liqueur.
Okay. All right.
And it was ultimately called a paper plane.
Yep.
So that's really what all it's got. It's got
had it.
bourbon, Aperol, Amaro Nino, and lemon juice.
Oh,
Yep.
I need to look at that.
Yeah. It's
And it
really
is
good.
delicious. It comes in a frou-frou glass.
Yep.
Which you kind of set me back a little bit, but
Pinkies out.
Yeah, pinkies
It
out.
comes in a
but,
coupe. It comes like in a coupe
Oh, yeah,
glass.
yeah, in a coupe glass, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know the names of them. It was a
You're allowed to
frou-frou.
smash those when you're done.
That's right.
Just-
So I told
yeah.
you guys about this place in Savannah that I can't remember the name of it now, but it's I just lost it. But
Yeah, we'll find it.
Ghost Coast.
No,
No, the restaurant.
no. The
It's like the
restaurant,
Armory or-
actually the cocktail place that we went
Okay,
to.
it's like
So
Armory or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But
Yeah, anyway,
they made a paper plane for me when I was there, and it was because I
add
asked
that
him. I
to
said,
list.
just like make me a really
Yeah.
good drink that you think is kind of cool to drink, and he's like, I'll make you a paper plane. So.
Yep.
and
Highly recommend it.
It was really
Highly
good.
recommend
All right.
It was
I'm
really
gonna
good.
look for the, I'm gonna
It
look
was
for
really
Paper
good. Yeah.
plane.
So
Yeah.
good
Is
call.
that an ABC? Is that second fancy name? In the
You will
ABCs?
not find it at
No?
ABC. No, I would look online.
Yeah.
So it's non-alcohol.
Well, it's a liqueur, so
Okay.
you
Yeah.
might be able to find it online.
All right. I'll check it out.
Yep. We'll find it on our quest to the Bourbon Trail.
You know what? Look it up at Total Wine down in Florida, because if you can get it there, I'll
Send
get it
them
for
back.
you.
Or we
Yes,
just have
please.
the Google truck get some.
That's right.
Yeah. They've got connections.
Or maybe they'll send us some. I'm sure they're going to hear about this. Aperol to Bourbon Boys or
Yes.
Bourbon On.
So Aperol and Campari
And
are owned by
Campari.
the same Campari.
They're owned by the same Campari group.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
One's sweeter. Campari is sweeter than Aperol.
Bourbon Boys, P.O. Box 101.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
Well, this was fun.
this is great.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
something
great.
good.
This is great.
Good to see you guys.
Yep.
Totally different format.
Yeah.
I love that we put Old Tub, which we talked about taking it neat. We've talked about taking it as a mixer. Put it to the test. Everyone brought a different twist on the same drink.
Yeah.
And we had
Yep.
4 very different drinks, all of which were
I thought they were all good.
really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that they're bar worthy, the recipes we've got.
Oh, yeah.
It is an approachable way to getting into bourbon, trying new flavors, understanding the ratio of sweet and spice. That's it.
Yep.
It's not,
Yep.
don't
Exactly.
panic.
Don't
It's not-
overcomplicate
no.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
That's right.
simple. But this was great. So, gentlemen, another great night. Glad we made this happen. And if you like this episode, be sure to hit subscribe to the series and hit the notification button so you get the updates when we drop another episode. We're on every podcast player, by the way.
What state are we looking for
That's
now?
awesome.
We need Idaho, Alaska.
We may need
I'm
Utah.
working on Hawaii.
We may need Utah again.
We lost Utah. Still counting.
After today, I'm
look,
sure
come on.
Dave
Yeah.
offended him. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
monogamy is a real thing, but maybe not there.
Sugar
Can we-
Hill.
can we just wrap
the
it up?
Bourbon fans of Sugar Hill and Utah will
Sugar
keep us
Hill
short.
is a big fan of Bourbon Boys. They
Really?
have a lot of likes.
There's- you
Every
guys
time
are-
you post a recipe, Sugar Hill's the first one.
Why
to
are
like
we
it.
not talking to them?
We should.
Does anyone know anyone at Sugar Hill? who's
I'll
been to
call
Utah?
them. Get me going. I'll
You're
I'll
on
get
it.
a hold
Okay,
of
you're
them.
on it. All right.
Road trip, Salt Lake City.
Yes. So leave us a rating. We need ratings because we're trying to sell this. If you know a buyer, we're negotiating. The floor is 8 million now. The floor is 8 million.
I think we're starting at 800.
Starting an opening bid.
We got a friends and family program though. Call me, not him.
A bottle of Weller. It's all yours.
So leave us a rating. Give us feedback so we can make these shows better for you and Amanda and Wasim, our other 2 listeners.
That's right.
Tracy and
We
I.
love you
and
guys.
Tracy, Wisconsin.
We love you guys.
And
Tracy,
we
Wisconsin.
do love you guys. And if you want to learn more about tonight's bourbon, visit our site, bourbonon.com, which I don't know if we even update that. Truth be
Well,
told.
truth be told, we don't.
Why don't we
yeah,
do this? Why don't we put these recipes on the website?
That'll
Hold
work.
on.
We could do that.
Yeah, I'll probably need to update my bio.
Yeah, just keep it
Day
the puzzles,
one.
big
Dave,
boy.
your bio,
Day one, Dave.
Dave, your bio's going to be like fashion. Eventually, it'll come right back around.
Look, I think my bio has something about romance novels because Alton wrote it.
Yeah. It also says he was the most
Everyone's an
sensitive
editor.
one of the guys. So
Everyone's
So
an
not
editor.
true. So not true.
So you can also order Bourbon Boys merchandise and Bourbon On gear. So, gentlemen, we're at the end of another great episode, legitimately episode 26.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed spending time together and sampling some amazing old fashions and sharing the recipes. So,
that's right.
Here.
Bourbon
Here,
On.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on.
God, we finally got to 27.
Yeah.